Everybody, and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fanatic, the channel that's dedicated to the Fantasy Hub fantasy football game. This is episode 5 of my Fantasy Hub Premier League series, where we're going to be looking back on game week 4 and how my team performed in the game week, and then also looking ahead to game week 5 and the upcoming fixtures and the players and the transfers that I'm interested in making for game week 5. If you're new around here, or if you're returning and you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and hit notifications so that you know when I'm going to be uploading a new video, all the good stuff that helps the channel out. And also, please follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with the channel. Details of my Twitter handle are going to be in the description. But with all that said, let's get into it. Okay guys, so this is how game week 4 worked out for me now that the game's been updated. So as you can see, pretty average week for me. So total points was 56, so way down on what I've been achieving so far. I say just 1 point above the average points total, way off the top points total this week. And also my overall World Championship position now down to 1,246, so way down on last week. But you know, still got the 0.2 million for the head-to-head winnings to go into the budget for the next week, so that's always welcome. Yeah, I'm going to look at now how my team performed on an individual player basis. So let's look at that now. Yeah, so this is how my team performed on an individual player basis. So the reason why my points total was so low was partly because I had 3 non-playing players, as it turned out in the end. Yeah, so first of all, Martinez and Buendia, so they were quarantining from the previous international break away with Argentina, so they didn't play the game against Chelsea, so no points for them. And I decided not to transfer them out this week and keep the transfers for game week 4 to get them out, because I wanted Ronaldo and Lukaku for their respective fixtures for game week 4, and as you can see, it was a good move in terms of Ronaldo and Lukaku because they got on the score. They both scored 2 goals each. But yeah, Martinez, Buendia, and also Heung-min Son got injured in the international break playing for South Korea. So overall, yeah, not ideal when you don't have 3 when you have 3 non-playing players. You're going to be suffering in the points total, and ultimately your game week rank. So moving on to the defence, so Luke Shaw, again, Man United couldn't keep a clean sheet, but he got an assist for 4 points. Alexander-Arnold had a great game against Leeds, so a goal, a clean sheet and an assist for 10 points, so really happy with that. But then the worst performer in my defence was Sergio Reguilon at Spurs, who when they played Crystal Palace, they had an absolutely awful game. They went down to 10 men. One of the main defenders got injured. Anything that could have gone wrong in that game for Spurs did. I had Harry Kane in my side, who did not perform. I don't think he had a shot on goal from what I saw. So Reguilon conceded 3 goals with the -1, and he's definitely somebody I'm looking to move on going forward. Then we got in the midfield, Saïd Benrahma only got the 2 points, no score, no attacking returns, no assist, no goal. Diego Jota the same, which I'm disappointed about against Leeds. No goal, no assist. So talking about Buendia already, and Torres, no goal, no assist against Leicester. So yeah, no attacking returns at all from my midfield, so that was really disappointing. And then going on to the forward line, so I started with Antonio and Kane in place of Ronaldo and Lukaku, as I've touched on. Kane, no goals, no assists. And then Mikel Antonio actually picked up a red card in the 93rd minute. So it ended on the -3 because he had no goals, no assists up to that point. And then Danny Ings Again, no goals or assists for Danny Ings against Chelsea. So, as you can see, you know, really poor performance from the majority of my team. So the only two good things to come out of the game week were Ronaldo and Lukaku, and I'm happy that I transferred them in because they've got good fixtures for game week 5 as well. So Ronaldo got the 2 goals against Newcastle, and Lukaku got 2 goals against Aston Villa. It was kind of a toss-up between the two who had captain, and you know, in the end, it didn't matter who you captained. They would have scored the same points. So, you know, 24 for Lukaku with a double captain points. So that's how my team performed on an individual basis. How did your team perform? Did you get more than 56 points this week? I'd love to know in the comments. So I'm going to look ahead to game week 5 and the fixtures and the players and transfers that I'm interested in making for the next game week. So let's get into that now. Okay, guys. So these are the upcoming fixtures for game week 5. So it starts at Newcastle versus Leeds, 8 PM tonight. The dilemma that I've got again going into this week is that I really want to move my Aston Villa players on, Martinez, Buendia and Ings, but they don't play until 5:30 on Saturday, so I'm missing all the previous games, and there's players that I'm interested in bringing in place of those Aston Villa players. So my dilemma again is, do I hold my Aston Villa players until they've played against Everton, and then try and transfer in players from the likes of Leicester and Man United, who I don't necessarily want, and you know, I couldn't probably afford budget-wise the players that I would want, or do I just bite the bullet and transfer out the Aston Villa players before they play? So again, in effect, having three spots in my team where you've got non-playing players, which is going to affect me massively for the points. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But let me know in the comments what you think I should do, and I'll go through now the fixtures one by one. So Leeds, Newcastle. So I am interested in swapping out Danny Ings for Patrick Bamford because Leeds have got a good fixture run coming up, and it starts with this game against Newcastle. Newcastle have been terrible this season, and they don't have their main threat in Callum Wilson either. He's out for a few weeks, so I think Leeds could have a good game tonight and score a few goals, and Bamford will be involved one way or another, I'm sure. So he's definitely one that I'm interested in bringing in. Next up, we've got Wolves and Brentford. Again, for Wolves, they're looking really good. They just haven't scored enough goals but they're playing really well, and they're creating a lot of chances, and they're keeping clean sheets. So for Martinez, I'm really lucky to swap Martinez for their goalkeeper. So yeah, again, I'm not decided on whether to do that yet, and also I might even double up with because there's a couple of their defenders, particularly Nelson Semedo, who's looking really attacking, getting some really good positions. So I'd want to maybe move on Reguilon as well. So that'd be 4 players. I mean, to be honest, for Spurs and Chelsea, I don't think it's going to impact me too much if I move Reguilon on, because I think Chelsea will probably score a couple of goals anyway against Spurs. So it's just taking that chance. In the 3 o'clock games, so Burnley Arsenal, I don't have anyone for that game, but you'd really be looking at Arsenal players against Burnley, because again, Burnley haven't been particularly great this season so far. But again, it's hard with Arsenal. I mean, they beat Norwich, but they only beat them 1-0, and from the footage that I've seen, they didn't look that good. So I'm still steering clear of Arsenal for now, because they've got the North London derby coming up in game week 6. I won't fancy any of their players for that game. Liverpool, Crystal Palace. Liverpool, I've got obviously Diego Jota and Alexander-Arnold. before last week's game against Spurs, I'd be all over Liverpool for a captaincy pick. But Palace played really well against Spurs, and in Edouard up front, you'd definitely want to be monitoring, because he came on in the latter stages of that game, scored with his first touch, and got a couple of goals in the end, and looked really good. I mean, I'm not saying that Crystal Palace will be at Liverpool, but it might not be a 7-0 like it was last season. Man City, Southampton, you've got to go for Man City at home here. I've got Torres in the side. Again, he's a captaincy option, I think, for this fixture, because again, Southampton are pretty weak defensively, and City at home, you've always got to back City at home. I think they've won 5. They've scored 5 goals in each of their last 2 home matches in the Premier League. So, at the moment, I'm probably favouring a Man City player to captain. Norwich and Watford, again, I don't have any interest in that game. Don't have any assets in that game. Villa, Everton. So this is the one really that is going to be the pivotal moment in my game week. So do I hold those Aston Villa players for Everton? I mean, on the face of it, Everton, playing Everton at home for Villa is a good fixture. But I just think there's slightly better. There's better fixtures for other players this week, and would I score more points if I got rid of the Aston Villa players? Because I don't want them really for game week 6, because Aston Villa are playing Manchester United away, which is a terrible game for them. So yeah, really still undecided. I mean, the player that I'd probably swap Buendia for would be Demarai Gray at Everton, who's been outstanding so far this season, scored in each of his games so far this season. So again, that's another dilemma I have. Leicester Brighton. If I didn't go for the players, if I didn't transfer Aston Villa's players out before they play their game, then I would be looking at bringing in Leicester players, or potentially Man United players. But yeah, still undecided on what I'm going to do. And I've got for Chelsea, we've got Lukaku. I mean, he could be a captaincy option against Spurs. Again, because Spurs played so poorly in the last game against Crystal Palace. You just never know with these London derbies how they're going to go. But obviously Chelsea are favourites. They're playing really well at the moment. So yeah, Lukaku would be another captaincy option. So the captaincy options for me this week are Liverpool players, so Jota, Torres at City, or Lukaku at Chelsea. You've also got Ronaldo at West Ham, but West Ham are playing very well, and I don't think it'll be a very very high scoring game, that one. It could be a 1-1, something like that. So I think there's more potential for these other in these other fixtures, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, to get more goals, outscore Ronaldo this week. But yeah, so that's what I'm facing this week, and I'll probably decide right at the very last minute on what I'm going to do. But what transfers are you looking to make? What's your strategy for this week? What do you think of my strategy? What do you think I should do? Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear.
This is the end of episode 5. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you did, please like, subscribe, and hit the notifications so you know that when I'm going to be uploading the next video in this series. If you did miss my previous video for the Champions League series that I'm doing for episode 1 there, a link to that video should be popping up somewhere on the screen there now. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.